the premiere performance of our entire show, Teenage Wasteland. I was talking to the band before, at our 4 o'clock meeting before we came out here, got in a uniform, and I told them that I had done a very quick count of 150 hours of rehearsal up until today.
What?
So, yeah.
Oh, well, if you count the week away.
As many of you know, I see a lot of alumni, I see a lot of alumni students and parents, I see a lot of non-marching band students who are currently in the program. So thank you all for coming here, but you all know that marching bands are really, you need a lot of dedication, you need to be committed to be good, obviously, but just to even participate in the activity. It's a lot of hours inside of rehearsal and outside of rehearsal practicing, and I hope that you're excited to see what they've been working on for, I guess, many months now since we started back last spring. So usually I give you a bunch of announcements now. We're actually going to save those until after the performance. So we're going to quickly get into the performance so that you can see the show, and then we'll do some general announcements while they're packing the truck. Before I do bring the band on, I want to tell you a little bit about the show. I want to tell you a little bit about the band and some things that you're going to see and what to expect here. We have 95 members in the band this year. That's up from the last few years. That's really awesome.
95 friends.
We are a Group 4 band in U.S. Bands. U.S. Bands is our competition circuit. We are starting to compete tomorrow. We go to Ramsey High School tomorrow at 8 o'clock p.m. if you want to join us there in a more competitive environment. And then next week we head down to Annapolis, Maryland. We're doing an overnight trip that not many of you know, but we're heading down to Annapolis next week. We'll be performing in Annapolis at 1:15, and then heading to the Collegiate Band Festival in Allentown on Sunday. So we're really excited for that trip. Then we have Hillsborough, October 19th, state championships on October 26th. And then we finish up our season at national championships out in Allentown, Pennsylvania, Sunday, November 3rd. So we're now into competitive season. We have 6 weeks left to our season. Actually, technically 5. So we're more than halfway through, and we're just about to get into the real exciting part. I know that I also talked to the rookies. Like, this is what we've been telling you about. Like right now, performing, getting in front of a crowd, a really appreciative crowd that's going to cheer really loud for everything that they do. Every right note, every awesome high rifle toss that gets caught, you know, every loud note you hear, and we'll talk about that more in a second. But so our show, Teenage Wasteland, came out of a bunch of different things, but it was born out of Baba O'Reilly by The Who. So you're going to hear that up front. We're calling that our intro. That's giving you the vibe of the show. You're going to hear some voiceover samples from the actual. We're using like a remixed version that came out a few years ago. So you're actually going to hear some samples from our synthesizer here, and you'll hear some trumpet solo, trumpet duet in the beginning. Again, just introducing the show. You're going to see the students basically kind of wandering around. And Teenage Wasteland is twofold. We have some garbage cans and scaffolds. You'll see the circle props that are painted gray, kind of cementish gray. That's going to end up, we're going to do some graffitiing. We have some other stuff to add in front of the sideline. So those of you that are familiar with marching band, we're going to be adding things. Every week you're going to see something new. You're going to see a new prop. You're going to see something painted a little differently. You're going to see new visuals on the field, more color guard choreography. You're going to see some things that change. But you'll see kind of that wasteland sort of an idea on the field. And then we also try to capture a little bit of like teenage emotions. So the opener, which is called Asphalt Cocktail by John Mackey, is kind of a chaotic, crazy, you're scattered, you're all over the place, kind of a typical teenage day. You don't really know what's happening and your life is kind of going in a million different directions. That's a really, really cool tune. You're going to see the sideline playing garbage cans. You're going to see PVC pipes. The wind players are actually going to be doing some choreography with PVC pipes. Again, that's kind of the wasteland-ish sort of vibe there. Then we get into our ballad, which is the opposite of the Asphalt Cocktail. That's called As the World Caves In. That's supposed to depict a little bit more of I'm alone, I'm lonely, everybody's against me sort of thing, kind of feeling, I guess depressed maybe isn't the right word, but depressed and lonely, but more sad, part of your life. And then we start to awaken, we start to find hope. We get into our closer. The closer is called Coronation. It's actually part of a movie soundtrack. But you find hope, you have direction, you're looking forward and looking at the next part of your life. So that's where we end. We end with hope. We end happy after our loneliness in the ballad. So that's what the show is going to be about, kind of the emotions maybe that you might feel from the music. Hopefully you're going to see some of that depicted visually. When we storyboard and talk about like this is what the show is about, you're not going to literally see those emotions on the field, but you're going to hopefully feel those and feel the music shift through the storyline. Last couple things, you've heard me say just cheer whenever you see something you love. We do sell cowbells. We do ask that you ring the cowbells on 2 occasions. Number 1, when we're coming onto the field and they say, coming onto the field, the Ridgewood High School Marching Band, you can ring your cowbells then, and then you put them away. And then when we're done the show, as soon as the last note hits, you ring your cowbells. That has started to be a trend a few years ago. We used to ring them all the time, and we used to get actually the judges saying that they couldn't hear the band. So we've kind of stopped that in the middle of the show. But you can certainly clap, you can cheer. Again, if somebody catches something from the color guard, if you love the PVC choreography, if there's a soloist that they did a really awesome job, clap. There is some psychology competitively that some band directors think that the more crowd engagement you get, the higher score you get. So today is kind of like a little practice round moving into tomorrow for you to find the spots that you should be cheering. You might hear the staff starting the cheer, starting the clapping. You can join us. We're trying to train you a little bit so that you know where are the good things and where you should be clapping. Okay? Feel free to take pictures. We're taking official video. We can release that to you later. But feel free to take as many pictures as you want. Past that, let's get the band on the fields and let's watch 2024 show Teenage Wasteland.